Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to another installment of What Did Jeff Do Wrong Last Time? Actually, I did do a few things. So let's talk about them. One of them was one of these combat chits had an A-1 on it, and I treated it like it was an A1. It was similar to this one. It wasn't this exact one. It had a greater than 8-to-1 odds written on it. It was on my video 15 at around 40 minutes. So see how it says A-1 there? I treated that like it was a hit. So the particular battle that impacted, I am gonna go back and claim it because I hate taking hits. So it was this particular battle with these units. So I'm gonna just flip one of them. Actually, this guy has a replacement. So I'm going to put this back and get his original unit back on the board. All right, so that was the first one. And I didn't believe it was true until I went back and looked, and I was like, oh my gosh, what a dodo head. Another one was, I don't remember when, and I'm going to start shuffling. We're on day 20 now. So I don't know when this happened, or I know it was sometime during December 19th in terms of game turn, but I don't remember which impulse it was. But the Allies drew a card, and basically nothing happened, and then it turned into a engineers event. So we went through the engineers, and I determined that a bridge was going to be destroyed and no roadblock was actually going to be placed. And so a big thank you to Andrew for pointing this out for me. As you may recall, I put a bridge destroyed here. That is not what would have happened. He pointed out that since these guys are dispersed, they're not exercising any zone of control, and that is true. So a roadblock would appear right here. I'm going to just reread the engineers here and make sure that that is really what would happen. Place it in an unoccupied road position hex with a hold value of greater than or equal to 3. Done. Within 2 hexes of a supplied German unit. That might be the issue. Oh, no, right there is a supplied German unit. Actually, they're all supplied. Never mind. Don't mind me. In Allied and German communication and not adjacent to an Allied unit. So it is an Allied communication because since this is exercising no zone of control, we can just, well, let me think about this. This unit is here, this unit is there. I can't get through. On first blush, I mean, this was an excellent point, but with this unit here, and you know what, we may have moved units since that event occurred, and so at the time the roadblock may have been real. But I cannot find a way through. Because now it says I can basically go anywhere. So if I go right along here, and I get to this spot, I can just come straight through. So it does have Allied communication. It's just the most wonky path possible to get there. So yeah, that roadblock is going to go in that spot. And had I not been dispersed, of course, that wouldn't have happened. So, so that's another correction. And then the third one, somebody was clarifying for me that regarding having I was struggling so much, and I guess I apparently still am struggling with getting these reserves out correctly. I know I personally realized that when I put the reserves, I think it was here, or one of these two spots, that he was in threat of being surrounded. So I think I picked an absolutely incorrect spot. And that's me reaching that conclusion. I don't think anybody's made any comments about that. And you can see that those units got pushed all the way back now to here. And then somebody pointed out that I did the battle wrong because I mistakenly, and I've done this several times now, I see both of these turned to brackets and I immediately conclude that they don't have zone of control. Well, they do have zone of control because there's two of them there. So they don't lose their zone of control until they're down to just one unit. So I think I retreated this guy twice instead of once. I was only supposed to treat him. There was a time where I rolled a die and said, hey, I wasn't supposed to roll that die. He just retreats. I was wrong. It was actually roll a die. And the roll die would have caused him to take damage. And then when he retreated, obviously he took damage. And then he retreated one more time and did not take damage. And that would have been a die roll of some sort. I don't know how it would have turned out. There is a possibility that I did even more damage to these guys and he would have been here. That would have been the better outcome. But I'm not going to go back and try to retroactively fix it. I'm just going to live with it the way it is. But he probably would have been more damaged than he currently is, which makes that battle even more awesome. Okay, now back to the reserve replacements. The thing that was pointed out to me is that the reserves, if I went to methodology B, which I did, that they for sure should have gone here because this is a 5-point victory point hex with 5 hold value. And that's far more valuable than, well, actually that one has 5, but it's far more valuable than some of these other spots that I ended up putting them in. I think since then they've moved again. So again, I'm not going to try to fix anything. But they brought out that this would have been the clear winner for where the reserves would have appeared. And I don't disagree. I mean, after sitting down and looking at it, it's within, you know, spaces of here. It's definitely not in proximate. So this would have to be method B, but we went to method B. So that's not the question. I don't think anybody's arguing with that. And so, yeah, that would have been a spot that maybe some of these guys that you see here would have wound up. Is up there. So my bad on that one. Please accept my apologies there. I think somebody made the comment that sometimes you're making mistakes, but it's not destroying the game. I think this is one of those. I mean, obviously I'm not threatening taking this spot yet, so the reserves could do that. Having the reserves down here probably was not as helpful. So I definitely understand it. And yeah, the thing that's going through my head here is, okay, how do I stop making these mistakes? So the first one, I've confessed to you and other people have said, you just got to slow down. And that part is 100% true. I think that the reason I don't always slow down is because since I'm recording, I feel this pressure to talk, this pressure to keep doing things. Every time I make you guys wait while I'm looking up a rule, I feel like I'm just, you know, fingernail and chalkboards to you guys. So, so that's something that I have to just get over it, because a lot of you have shown extreme patience in watching all these videos, and clearly you're not intimidated by this, so I just need to get past that. The next thing with this is that I do have a concern, because I looked at this map and I did not notice that spot. And I don't think I would have. And what's crazier is this, see this little fuel symbol was over top of it? So I didn't even think of pushing that out of the way and seeing that there was a 5 there. So that's on me. I just, I think that even if I played this game 100 times, I'm going to make mistakes like that. I'm going to make mistakes like forgetting that these are bracketed and they still have zone of control. Those are the things that keep forgetting to do. And I already know that those rules exist, and I already know them very well, in fact. So that's just on me. And I don't think I can eliminate the Jeff factor from this. Somebody asked me, will I lose the game, and is there a way to get negative points here? Because I'm clearly making no ground, and I'm at a spot where I declared that I'm giving up on the South. And the scores are here. They're actually written on the board, and there's only one way to get negative points, and that's if they take a west wall position. And obviously, if I start losing units here, it's very easy for this to take some west wall positions, which are all along this. Yeah, it's a possibility. For now, I can't do anything about it, really. I just, I don't have the strength to punch through across a river and do anything. And this guy has been stout. I've tried to take him out multiple times, and in some scenarios, I think I would be able to, but I just have not been able to. He's been stout. There's no reason why this guy should still be around, but he is. This guy is impossible now. He's impenetrable. This might as well just be Constantinople, for as I'm concerned. I'm not going to be able to siege this. And then these guys are now all of a sudden super powerful. So I just, I can see me taking these two somehow, but I need some luck on my side. And if I do try to take them, I'm going to start having to do some reinforce commands or something to give me an edge, and I just don't know what that edge is going to be. This guy in particular, we've attacked him at least 3 or 4 times now, and he has yet to take a single damage. So he's been their MVP so far. Strategy-wise, what am I trying to do? I know it's crazy, but I'm scoring most of my victory points by eliminating allied units. So I'm turtling. I'm actually not even pushing towards the Meuse. I'm just surrounding who I can and taking out who I can. And if I can take out 2 guys, I score a point. And if I can take out 4 guys, I score as many points as capturing this city down here, for example. So that's pretty much it. Now, I do see a possibility. And that possibility that I'm seeing is right up there along the north. If I can get through this forest here and pop out right here where this 4 zone is, or even down here, you can see there's a road that goes straight into this city. And right now there's no troops there. And I know that I'm gonna have to roll dice, and there's a possibility that after rolling dice, some roadblocks or whatever are going to appear. And that's the thing with this game, is just because it's wide open doesn't mean there's not gonna be troops there within the next turn. And the way the AI works is there will be troops there the next turn because of the way the AI looks at the board. So I'm tentatively wanting to cut through that forest. I'm just not sure it's going to make a difference. And so that's why I think I've been just punching any place I can and just trying to get as many dead units on the Allied side as possible. And then along the way, I am still capturing cities which are worth victory points. So that's the idea. I don't think I'm winning. I don't think I'm going to win. And even if I did win, there's so many asterisks on this game, it doesn't matter. So this is still just a learning game. Am I at a spot where I'm ready to start the next campaign? I think that I could, and I probably would do fairly decent at describing it from a do-over. I still think I'm making mistakes. Now, what's funny is I think a few people said that they're not, going to necessarily watch the videos anymore. They're going to just wait for the second campaign. And so I feel sad because now I'm losing some of the feedback that I'm getting on how well I'm doing. Like, I got a bumper sticker. How's my driving, right? The only thing I can say to you is I've read these rules. I've read them more than once, and it doesn't mean that it sticks. These scenarios and these specific scenarios that come up, are they're so specific that I just don't know the rules so well. And the way these rules are written, they're just so precise sometimes. That when you do read a paragraph, you think it means this. So, for example, that bullet, there was a bullet that had 2 sentences in it. And I read the first sentence, and it was in regards to if there was more than one choice for units. This was the reinforce action, in fact. It was this guy, this bullet right here. So right there where it says 4 allied, select the unit stack with the lowest numbered of unit if more than one. And then it has a comment about preserving line and protecting VP hexes takes priority over reinforcing. So those are 2 sentences, yes. If you look at them separately, they mean 2 different things. But I don't look at them separately. I look at them and I see them together. So this second sentence only applies if the first sentence is true, because they're all part of a single bullet here. And so that's how these rules strike me. So yes, I could have read these rules 100 times and never reached the conclusion that one of you was able to help me reach within seconds. Because I'm not seeing it the way you guys are seeing it. And so that's some of it. Now, the fact that I was forgetting to draw my allied command cards whenever the allies would come to look for a hidden defender, yeah, that's just me being a doofus. But I think when it gets to some of these other things, especially how to place reserve units, I need to see examples. I was telling somebody that when I took calculus, you can read theorems, right? Every mathematical postulate has a theorem to it. And you can read a theorem, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to crank out derivatives immediately after reading that theorem. I need somebody to show me how to do derivatives, and I need to go through examples of how to do derivatives. And after maybe doing 50 or 100 problems, then I start to gain a mastery of it and start to get good at it myself. So yeah, I mean, I can get to the point now where I can say, you know, x squared is 2x, you know, I can start doing that, but I can't, you know, do that from the start. So that's how this game strikes me, is it's got some very articulate and particular things to it, and I'm not catching them. So anyways, I'm going to slow down and catch it from there. So I have some neighbor kids over, and they're being really loud. So I'm actually going to go shut the door, and I will be back, and we will continue and start December 20th. So that way I can record in peace. Thank you for watching. Stay awesome.